welcome to the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and joining me, as always, Mr. Jonathan Detroit Haynes. What's going on, man?
Yo, 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 what up, host?
Also joining us, as always, and giving us the rundown of today's show, Mr. Phil Ruxey. Phil, take it away, brother.
Hey guys, what's going on? We got another good one for you today. We're gonna go over our Week 1 reactions from last week, see how things played out in the NFL. Then we're gonna take some questions, either from some fans or just whoever felt like sending in a question. Then we're gonna go over the KDFL fantasy scores from last week, see how everyone did, and then as always, we're gonna give our Week 2 predictions.
All right, fellas. So, switching up the order a little bit this week. Starting out with some NFL and fantasy-related observations. Let's go ahead and break it down into two sections. We'll start with Thursday night and the Sunday early games, so the 1 o'clocks. So I'll start it off. Clyde Edwards, real deal, it would appear.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I was a little worried the hype was just going to be too much for the guy. Coming into this fantasy season, the hype was just crazy with him. But he produced, and he looks good.
Yeah, I thought
it's going to be hard to stop him in that offense.
Yeah. I thought there was no way that he could live up to I thought he'd have a good game. But living up to that hype that he was given, we were in the stratosphere by the time we kicked off on Thursday. One thing about him, the only thing I'm worried about, the goal line stuffs were kind of
Yeah, they didn't look too good on goal lines.
I think Andy Reid will figure it out, but that was the only – if I had to find a knock, that's the only thing that's concerning so far to me. But he looked as advertised.
Yeah, I was super excited going to that game, but also at the same time I was super nervous, hoping he would actually live up to all the hype.
Yeah.
But I think he did pretty much so far.
Yeah. Texans certainly seem like a team that's missing a quality number one wide receiver. So,
man, if only they had one.
Man, that's whew. And David Johnson looked good. He looked like a little bit of the David Johnson of old. He looked effective, but they don't need that as much as they need a quality guy.
I'm afraid our commissioner Jeremy, his favorite coach Bill O'Brien, I don't think he's going to make it after this season.
So that was the that's the Thursday night game, and it was great to get the NFL season rolling. Now, when I go to the 1 o'clock in the afternoon games, the Falcons are literally the same team that they were at the beginning of last year.
Yeah, what did you say about them beating Seattle in the opener?
They should have beat Seattle. The Falcons are a good team, all right? But they're in most NFL games, you can point down to 2 or 3 plays that decide the whole game. And the Falcons are notorious for blowing all of those. Terrible.
Well, it could be worse. You could be the Detroit Lions.
Oh,
my boys, man. Last year they blew an 18-point fourth-quarter lead against Arizona. They ended up with a tie. This year, 17 points against the Bears and Trubisky. Man, they just look – that defense looks bad again. Patricia, he's in trouble. They're going to start out 0-4 is my prediction, and I'm not thinking he's going to make it through the season. I know I'm, Mr. Gloom and Doom when it comes to the Lions anyways, but that team is just they're cursed.
That certainly added fuel to the curse fire. A wide open drop from Swift. I've been saying all week in our chats, I hate that it was the rookie for the mental aspect. I would have much rather that been Peterson or something like that.
And I saw a stat that he didn't drop a ball at all in his senior year in Georgia. And he cut the ball out of there. So.
Honolulu Blue.
You put on that Honolulu Blue, man, you're cursed.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's too bad neither of those teams are the Packers, who surprised me and got the win Sunday. I didn't think they were going to beat the Vikings, but I don't know. The Packers
You know, I
actually do
was-
have a number one
Yeah, I'm sorry,
receiver
Phil.
on the team. So
Yeah.
unlike the Texans.
Yeah, Adams is a beast. He's a
He's
That,
really
beast.
that game, it could be
Surprised
Aaron Rodgers'
Rodgers.
revenge season. It could be Aaron Rodgers' revenge season.
Yeah, it could be.
Uh,
I don't think he's going to be MVP, but he looked really good this year. I mean,
but he did this last year. He had one game where he just went off, and then so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Kirk Cousins, man.
Well, he'll be going off again this week against the Lions.
Kirk Cousins, 4 passes in the first half. How is this real? I don't understand. I mean, he had 2 completions, both to
I
Field.
don't know.
I don't get it, man. Last year, his season opener against Atlanta, he only had 9 passes. It's just wild how they start
Yeah.
off with him.
Yeah, it's baffling. It doesn't make sense. He's supposed to be this like really good quarterback, and they paid him a lot of money. And he never throws the ball.
He is a good quarterback. We've had this. He's a good average quarterback.
He's
We've had
no,
this
he's not.
discussion over and over.
And we'll continue to have it. He's not a good quarterback.
He is a good average quarterback.
Anyways, the Browns are the Browns, of course. I mean, they just got demolished by the Ravens.
I'm already. The Browns have been
Yeah,
irrelevant for 20-some years. Became relevant last year for all the offseason moves they did, and I'm already tired of talking about them. I'm tired of Baker. Tired of Odell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Baker's just awful. He
I'm-
really is.
Yeah, we'll see what they do, but I mean, I feel bad for Baker because of the coach turnover. Nobody's going to be, very few are going to be successful with that type of situation. But, now the Jets. Jets are an absolute disaster. Fire Gase immediately. The quicker you fire Gase and move on, the better. I mean, this is nuts. It's nuts that he's still around. No man has ever had worked off more of one interaction with one person than him with Peyton Manning. Him getting to say, I coached Peyton Manning during that time, no man has made more off of one interaction in their life than that. I mean, this is crazy, right?
Yeah, the Jets are bad. They're going to be battling for last place this year. Worst record, I mean.
And Josh Allen, fantasy darling. This guy is the most fun quarterback, one of the most fun quarterbacks to watch. The fumbles are ridiculously stupid, but he's not impossible to bring down. I saw him have, I think it was like a 6 yards to go in the end zone, and you would have thought how hard he threw it that he had to get it 50 yards. Just absolute unapologetic cannon, firing the ball off is amazing to watch. It's so unpredictable, such a wild card and a hodgepodge.
Yeah. I like watching the Bills, though. They're pretty
Bills are
exciting.
fun, man. The Bills are fun. Carson Wentz. I mean, guys, I'm right about Carson Wentz. It's not for long. I think I
What do
have
you mean
3
you're
years left.
Right about what?
I said he's not starting
Oh,
on a
okay.
team in 5 years. 2 years ago. I got 3 years left.
Yeah.
On the Carson Wentz train. We'll see. His line sucks.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. I want to talk about Washington's front four, man. They're pretty good. They get after that quarterback, and adding Chase Young to that team.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get after a lot of quarterbacks this year. I mean, they had Montez Sweat from last year, and they got Kerrigan, Chase Young. That front four is pretty good.
I feel like of all the stories from week 1, Chase Young was the most under-talked about and that should have been talked about.
Yeah, he's the real deal. He's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in there. I mean, he looked just as dominant as he did in college. So that's pretty impressive. Raiders, real quick. Josh Jacobs, 3 touchdowns, amazing. He seems to be the real deal. That line is incredible. When you get those two together, is really fun to watch. And the Panthers, Teddy B is going to have to chuck the ball some to win. He had a couple deep balls, but he's going to really have to, fire that cannon if he's gonna be successful with this stop. You can't be doing the check down stuff. Right. All right. Last thing I have.
What happened to the – okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what happened to the Colts, man? How'd they lose to the Jags?
Hey, yours truly predicted this win for the Jaguars.
I
I don't get why the
Did you
why the
really?
Colts. Yeah, I did on our predictions. I don't get. It's one of my 2 wins for them. I don't get why the Colts we're getting so much love. I don't understand. But I don't know. We'll see. We
I, mean,
lose.
I, think,
Go ahead.
I just think that they thought Phillip Rivers was going to come in and be able to hit some of those weapons. But
Yeah.
I mean, he was Phillip Rivers.
He was. That was insane. They always talk about 2 minutes to go in the game on Sundays. Phillip Rivers is going to be down trying to come back, and it happened again in Indy.
He had 363 yards.
It's
but
the
I mean,
most Phillip Rivers game ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Phillip Rivers.
He always
for
gets
sure.
garbage time yards. I mean, he really does.
It's always
Yeah.
him trying to come back, and he cannot, and he's right there at the end, and can't get it done. It's insane, and it translates to a different team across the country now. Last thing, old Gurley didn't look too shabby, but the game script got away. Can't run the ball when you're getting
We
destroyed.
already talked about the Falcons, sir.
You jumped really
Time to
quick
move
away
on.
from my. You
Time
jumped
to the
really
4
quick.
o'clock games.
You jumped really quick away from my Falcons. I was not done. Gurley looked good. We'll see if it can continue. But all right, the afternoon games, guys. When are we gonna come to terms? I just feel like I'm asking y'all to get on board with me. Breeze and Brady, it's over, guys. It's this overreaction Tuesday or overreaction day. It's over. Can we just admit they're both tired?
I actually predicted the Saints to win this game
I did. Yeah.
when I was filling out
Yeah,
that
so did I.
stupid thing you had me fill out. I think it's going to take the Buccaneers a little while to get together.
It is.
You know,
That
to
one
kinda
pick was
gel as a
direct
team.
miscommunication. Yeah.
Yeah, but Brady, he did not look good. I mean, he had a couple really nice throws, but they just seemed out of sync. And
They'll
I
figure
don't
it
think
out,
they don't have an identity right now. They tried to run the ball a lot. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be talking good about Brady, but I tell you who's getting a pass. Drew Brees is getting a pass from this game, and he shouldn't be.
I thought the Buccaneers defense played good.
I think their defense played good. Drew Brees, watch that game back. Watch how many times he throws it more than 10 yards, more than 7 yards. Watch how many times.
Yeah.
His yards per attempt look like a good GPA. You'd be proud to have.
We wouldn't have a podcast if Brett wasn't
No,
complaining.
he
about
had
the
the one
Saints.
deep pass to Cook, and whatever, and they were both of those quarterbacks were trying to pass interference themselves down the field, just chucking it up and praying. And I did. Tom Brady, welcome to the NFC South. We hit in this division. Quarterbacks get hit. Boy.
All right, what's
All
the
right,
next
up,
game?
Kyler and Cardinals and Niners. It's definitely the next step year for Kyler. He looked good. I'll let y'all talk about NFC West. Impossible this year. Impossible.
Yeah, I had Arizona being like an up and coming team. I thought they were going to improve on
Yeah.
their thing from last year, and I still think that after watching this past week, I think they're going to battle out for second place. I think. And then again, the Rams looked all right this week too. So, Jimmy G, Jimmy G.
He needs
My man
weapons,
did
man.
not look good.
He
but
needs weapons, and this Kittle injury cannot.
Yeah, he
hopefully,
does.
it's not
I mean,
serious. But
if you can't throw to somebody, I mean, if you didn't get the receivers, I mean, it's hard for any quarterback to be good. But
they did.
Yeah, I
We
think-
just got word before we started recording that they did sign Sanu. That's a trusted veteran of the Shanahan offense, so he should be able to hit the ground running. But Sanu's not some. I mean, he's your possession guy. He's not some down the field, over and over. But we'll see how often they use, because Sanu's underrated part that if you didn't watch Falcon games, you may not know. The Wildcat with him. They will let him throw. He'll throw the ball in Shanahan's offense. So we'll see how often they work that in too. That'll be interesting. But yeah, we'll see. I don't want to overreact. I mean, they did barely lose the game. So those
Yeah.
NFC West quarterbacks, it is
that
tough.
division's going to be tough.
It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad. Joe Burrow, when we go to the Chargers, Joe Burrow, that tough loss. He looked like what they got at number one. Didn't have any time, but was still making some good throws.
Yeah. I have a question later on after we do these cover things that's going to cover kind of the Burrow thing.
Okay.
But
The kicker has no
Mixon.
choice but to fake his injury.
Yeah. That was hilarious. That was just terrible. I mean, how do you miss that? I think I might have been able to make that kick.
They said he had a left calf strain, and in the video he's holding his right calf.
Scrimmage is right.
Did he get cut yet? He's got to get cut, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
I don't think he has, but I called that. I was like, "There's no way this guy's lasting the season."
No,
And
no
Mixon,
way.
Mixon's doing the same thing he did last year. That slow, terrible start where he's just running into a wall. So hopefully they get that figured out and figure out ways to give him the ball. Now, so that's our afternoon games. We moved to Sunday night. Cowboys, week 1, my most frustrating offense in the league so far.
America's team.
You have to unleash these weapons. Let Dak do his thing. Let Dak be mobile. I don't understand why more and more teams do not go no huddle. Go, 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 tempo, tempo, tempo. This is insane to me. I watched, obviously, basically at least 20% of every game. This, bits and pieces as red zone's going around. I have my other games in the back, or my main game on the main TV. When teams are going up tempo, they're moving the ball. I know offenses get tired. I know you want a game plan, but you got to figure out a way to go, go, go. You look so much better when you're doing it.
Maybe you should be an NFL coach then, Brett.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is behind that. Sometimes teams, I don't know, maybe they just get tired.
It's possible.
Some teams are afraid. They're afraid they're going to go 3 and out real quick and not give the defense any rest. That's the only thing I can think of. But
I mean, you got to find some way to work in more high up tempo because Chip Kelly was famous for that, right? He ran the Eagles, go, 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 and the defense was always out there, and they were just getting scored on left and right. So I do get that point, but you got to get, especially the Cowboys, you didn't get rid of Jason Garrett just to bring in another Jason Garrett that does these boring, predictable plays.
yeah, but got to give the Rams credit. They played really well.
Yeah, I don't understand not kicking the field goal. I don't get that. I mean, I don't know if there's some analytics. There probably is some analytics that tell you that you had a better chance of going for the win right there. The percentage that you get, the 4th down, whatever. But I don't care about it being – usually you say that like if they're on the road. I don't care about that this year. There's no crowd. And, yes, the offensive PI was a bad call.
Anyways.
Right. The offensive PI was a bad call, but so was Goff getting slapped in the face and nobody –
Yeah, that's true. He did get hammered in the face and threw the pick.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about that.
No. Last thing on that game, Malcolm Brown looked good. It's going to be a running back by committee, but I mean he did look heads and shoulders above the other two. So maybe Cam Akers gets more accustomed as we go on, but especially goal line back. Okay, so give me your all's thoughts on last night, Monday night. We had 2 games. Give me your thoughts on what we saw there. We'll start with Steelers-Giants.
The Steelers game kind of intrigued me because I have Juju.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of him. He played well. I still think that Big Ben took a lot of hits. But I don't know that that offense doesn't seem like they can protect Big Ben yet. So if he's not going to last the whole season if they can't protect him. The defense looked amazing. They were all over the Giants. So that defense is going to keep them in like they did last year. Didn't they go like 8-8 or had a chance at the playoffs?
Just on the verge of the playoffs, yeah.
I expect the Steelers to be pretty good this year. So they were impressive. At least on defense they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think the Giants are just that good, though, either, on the other side. I mean –
1-15.
I don't think – yeah, 1-15. And of course, the Washington
forgot
football team
about
got
that.
their one win so far. So they have to lose out now.
You haven't been proven wrong yet.
Right. The Steelers D looked incredible, but Daniel Jones, he did show some promise. He showed some good throws. That interception in the red zone was one of the worst I've seen. You have to know you can't throw that.
Terrible.
You have to know you can't throw that, but he was he did show some signs of being pretty solid.
Yeah.
Titans Broncos. I feel like it was kind of a throwaway game for the evening. I like Drew Lock's aggressiveness, but
Yeah, I only saw the first half. I went to bed after that.
yeah.
Us senior citizens got to get to bed early.
I will
I
say,
didn't see much either.
yeah. I will say, Corey Davis. I'm looking at you, Corey Davis.
Yes.
Don't you do it to me. Don't you make me fall in love
Yes.
again, Corey Davis.
Oh,
I
he looked
thought we were
good.
done. Don't you do it.
Trade bait.
Don't you
Go
do
for
it.
trade.
All right. So that's our week 1 of football reactions there. Now, getting to some mailbag questions. I have a few here. Detroit, you have one as well?
Well, it's kind of just a basic one. It's we have 2 NFL teams in the state of Ohio.
Uh-huh.
Which quarterback would you take for your team right now if you had to start a franchise? We've only seen one game out of Burrow. And we've seen, 3 seasons of Baker now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still taking Burrow.
Yeah, this is going to be hard with recency bias, but I would have taken Burrow before Baker. I think we've seen what Baker
I think
can do.
so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we've seen the best of what Baker can be. If you can't get it done with all the weapons that they have on that team, I don't think you're going to be much of a quarterback in this league.
Yeah. I think somebody, what was it? He's not as let's see. He's not as mobile as like a Kyler or whatever, and he is not as accurate as Drew Brees. That's the problem. He's a little bit of both. He needs to pick one. He needs to pick one and go with it. I mean, he's not set up for success. Don't get me wrong. I hate on Baker a lot. He's not set up for success. That organization's always been a dumpster fire. Now, my thoughts on these organizations. When you have the organizations that are habitually bad, the Browns, Bengals. I'm not going to mention one in Detroit.
Say it.
It takes a revolutionary type player to turn that around. Because you can be a good player, and if you go to the right situation, you're going to be really solid. You're going to be, and everybody's going to sing your praises, and you're going to get all this admiration. But those franchises that just seem just not run well, the Dolphins, for example, another one, Dan Marino. It took a Dan Marino to make them, relevant.
Yeah.
It takes revolutionary style talent. Like, for instance, Matt Ryan goes to the Browns. Matt Ryan would almost be on the hot seat right now. I could almost see it. He's almost like Baker. I swear, not that the Falcons are some historically great franchise, because they're not, but they've been solid since Arthur Blank's been there, the last 20-some years or so. But it takes a transcendent type talent, is what I'm saying, to turn those historically bad franchises around. You can't just be really good or just great. You have to be revolutionary, in my opinion.
Well, I guess I could kind of agree with you on that. I don't know. I mean, when the Lions had Barry Sanders, they made the playoffs, but they never advanced.
Right, okay. But they made him a playoff team.
Calvin Johnson, I think he went 0-3 playoffs.
But I'm
career.
starting to think it needs to be a quarterback too.
Because
Stafford and Ryan are not too. I mean, they're different type of quarterbacks, but skill level, I don't think they're far apart at all.
No, either.
Now Stafford's got the cannon, and Ryan may be more accurate. I'm not sure, but I don't think they're that far apart, in the hierarchies. Now, all right.
So what if Mahomes was in Cleveland? What do we think about
Maybe
that?
Mahomes, honestly.
Yeah, I think he would be too.
But Mahomes is so hard to tell with this great situation he got in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's got the right coach too.
It's right coach, right weapons. Some selflessness with their contracts. It's just an all around great situation. You all know how I am. I preach situation. The whole Romo Brady swap thing I always talk about. Situation.
All right.
I missed my joke. I missed my joke earlier. Guys, give it time. Brady just has to get in charge of, or he has to get used to the system, and he'll be fine. Once he gets that system down, he'll be fine. I'm the funniest guy I know. All right. So,
So you don't know anybody else?
First question. First question up. TJ in Manhattan wants to know, you can change one play in history from your favorite team. What would it be?
We're talking favorite NFL team, I take it?
Yes.
Phil, you want to hit this one first?
AKA Detroit doesn't have an answer yet.
I have
I may
I have a
an
terrible
answer.
memory. Let's see.
See, I can't think of any big Packer gaffes.
Yeah, I can't either.
Hmm.
Mine is obvious.
Okay.
Well, okay.
What
Well,
would it be, Brett?
well, aside from okay, I'm gonna X that one out. Of course, I'm gonna change. I'm either gonna put a fullback in to block for Devonta Freeman, or I'm just gonna run the ball in the Super Bowl. But my second one, which because I thought that was too obvious, so I had to think of another one. The Vic preseason game where he snaps his leg. I would just swap that, like just get him out of there, whatever. Because I think that may have derailed just more than his NFL career. That could have derailed his daggone life, depending on with what was going on. Because he was rolling pretty high right then, and then he cost him that season. So I would change that out. I'd love to see what Vic would have done with full health career.
I guess mine would be, man. I'm thinking a couple years. Well, not a couple years ago. You got when the Lions lost to the Cowboys when they overturned that one pass interference call.
Ooh.
It was the week before Des Bryant's catch against the Packers.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it would be 1983. The Lions and Eddie Murray, who I have my picture with twice because I got my picture with him last year.
That poor guy.
He missed the field goal against the Niners in the NFC divisional round. I mean, it was like a 42-yarder or 45-yarder or something like that. It just went wide right. If they would have won, they would have went to the NFC Championship. So that would be it for me. Because as a kid, I was like 9 years old. It was like heartbreaking. So
Yeah.
I have an easy one for basketball. I can think of one of those.
Which one?
Oh, it's got to be Robert Horry hitting the buzzer beater against the Kings
Oh yeah,
in the 2001 playoffs.
Vladdy
I mean, I
tip
cried
out.
after that one.
The Vladdy tip out.
Yeah. If he would have just grabbed it or knocked it somewhere else, anywhere else.
well, it's funny you say that, Phil, because if I had a basketball one, it would be a Robert Horry when he hit the three-pointer against the Pistons in Game 5 of the NBA Finals because Rashid wasn't guarding him. He went to the middle of the lane.
Big
They
shot.
would have won
Bob.
that. They would have won up games to 2, and they ended up losing in 7 games in that series of the Spurs. So, Robert Horry.
Yeah. Hate that guy.
Did not predict some Robert Horry slander on today's KDFL podcast. All right, next one up. Rick from DuPont wants to know, give me your best division uniforms. So you can only take divisions, or you can only take uniforms from one division to wear for the rest of your life. By the way, there is only one right answer, and I have it, so tread lightly.
Oh, gosh.
You guys go
Well, I'm going
first.
to be see, it's kind of unfair. We always have to go first, but
I don't want to talk that much.
well, you talk 80% of this podcast anyways.
Yep.
I really like the NFC North. It's kind of old school. You got the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings. I would say the worst one of the four is probably the Lions.
Oh,
But they got that old school kind of feel. You know, it's just classic. So
in terms
I'll
of
go with
old
them.
school teams and jerseys, it does have to be the North. Okay, but that's not that's not the right answer, but it's a good try. Phil, your pick.
Oh, I
I've
can't
gotta
wait till
go-
you tell us the right answer.
I've got to go AFC West with, the Chargers, those powder blues, those are really
The
nice.
Chiefs.
The Chiefs are nice. Don't they have those or is that the Bucks I'm thinking of? It's like the orange ones.
That's the Bucks orange creamsicle.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think the Chargers have something like that though. And of course the Raiders. Like
The Raiders
Blacks.
are nice too.
It's really nice.
Yeah, the Raiders. are
Broncos are probably the worst ones of the four, but
nice.
I
Yeah.
think the AFC West.
The correct answer, boys?
Not the South. Don't even say
It's the AFC West. Phil's exactly right. It gives you your most
it. Okay.
wide range of colors. You get your black and your silver. You get your red, white, and a little bit of yellow. You get your yellow and blue, and you get your blue and orange. And those Broncos uniforms probably are the worst in the division right now. But when those came out, 6th grade, 5th grade, whatever grade I was, I think it was 5th or 6th grade, and the orange lines up on the side, the little millennium, they call them the Millennium Horse or whatever. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Of course, we'd have to be talking about fashion on this.
Those were.
Podcast.
I didn't write the questions. The viewers wrote in with the
All right,
questions.
Next question.
AFC West best overall uniforms gives you the widest range and sickest options. Best logos. All right, so I don't know if I want to do this one. Okay, I will. Jeremy from Orlando. What non-pro athlete could hold their own in the NFL? No LeBron or former players, so like a Terry Crews or The Rock. You can't use them.
Can I use Brock Lesnar?
Nope. I thought about that too, as I said. He actually played. Do I need to take
I
out
got one.
WWE? I think I do.
Bush.
Take out WWE.
Wait. What was the question again? Can you repeat the whole question?
I think
wanna make
we've
sure I
done
got
this
it right.
before, though. What pro non-athlete could hold their own in the NFL? No WWE, no former players like Terry Crews or The Rock.
No,
no
no
LeBron.
athlete at all.
No,
It's a
come
dumb
on.
question because none of them
But
is
so
going
wait,
to be able to do it.
Oh,
so they can't play another sport either? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, they can play another sport. It's just LeBron's
Okay.
always the answer here, and I don't want to throw him out.
I got you.
Oh, you're crazy. None of them. Tariq Cohen's
Well, if
like
you talk,
Tariq Cohen's like
no.
5'8".
Wait a minute, clown. I thought you said no athletes at first.
Oh, well, okay. No former players and no LeBron.
Okay.
Because LeBron's always the easy answer here, I feel like.
Well,
I think you almost have to go NBA, right?
I
Well,
mean,
I got
could
it.
Russell Westbrook be a
I don't
running
know
back?
why. Why would we have to go NBA?
I just feel like they're the best athletes, unless you know. Do you know how many soccer players you know?
I was thinking more along the lines of someone.
He could be a
like,
quarterback though.
No,
I got an
like
interesting
Usain
one.
Bolt.
Like,
I was thinking like Usain Bolt is like a wide receiver,
Okay.
like
Okay,
a deep
Hester?
threat. Huh?
All
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could be like that.
right, I'm throwing this out there. I could be completely stupid. Okay. Mike Trout.
Why am I?
Is he not big? Is he not huge?
Yeah, but there's a lot of big athletes.
Yeah, but isn't he
Doesn't
like
mean
I
they're big.
picture like a tight end or something? Mike Trout. Uncommon answer.
I don't know. I don't think he's big enough to be a tight end though.
I don't know. I'm going to put Manute Bolin on the field goal block.
Oh, that's
Brett,
always a tough one. Westbrook
what do you think?
Westbrook was the NBA player that came to mind.
Nah, I'm using Manute Bol to block field goals.
I mean, Westbrook could be a running back. He basically tries to lower his shoulder every time, anyways.
All right, so let me find here. Okay, for a second. Okay, Scott from Wisconsin wants to know your favorite team moves. Detroit, this is interesting for you too. Your favorite team moves like a Seattle Supersonic situation or a Rams situation. Are you picking a new team or are you supporting them wherever they go? Detroit, this is interesting for you because your name would become meaningless.
Well, I would have to say it would be very hard to follow them to a new city because you're going to be so bitter. Also, depends on what city they go to.
Yeah.
Because, like, certain cities that I don't care for. So, I think it'd be hard. I know a lot of people probably would because they wouldn't have no team at home anymore, but I don't think I could.
Do you stay with them?
Would I stay with them?
You're saying you stay with them?
No, I'm saying I couldn't.
Oh,
Like, if they
you're getting a new
moved to
team.
another Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would get a new team.
Yeah.
Because it would just be hard.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be rooting for the Cincinnati Lions. I mean, I can't.
All
That's
right,
just weird.
another tidbit, Phil. Before you answer, I want to give you a little bit more pause. So, let's say you're not from the city, right? Because I think it's hard if you're from the city. But so you're not from the city, so we're kind of like how me and Phil root for our team. Well, you now too, Detroit, but you at least have memories of being there. But they also changed their mascot. So, like, if the Raiders go to Vegas and they're not the Raiders anymore, or the Packers go to, just because I know it's open to, the Packers go to St. Louis and they're the St. Louis
So
Birds, whatever.
so what you're saying is that the Cleveland Browns are now the Baltimore Ravens.
Right. Yes. That. Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, everything's
Yeah, that would
changed
be
now. The
hard.
colors, the mascot, the city. Nothing's the same as it was.
Yeah.
You stay.
Yeah, I think in that instance, I would have to find a new team. If they kept the same mascot, I think I could follow them.
The mascot matters, I
Oh.
think.
Yeah, it does. It really does. That's what you're rooting for, is like the mascot, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you're rooting for the Packers, and you're not rooting for Green Bay necessarily. You're rooting for the Packers.
I want to say, also depends on the play. I don't know. Depends on the players who are there. But I want to say, like, it's almost like for us, me and Detroit, like fans of historically miserable teams, it almost like your chance to be free. Like you have,
That's a good way to look
That's
at
the
it.
only way I'll ever be Lions for.
right? You could be free, but then I'll be like, all right, fine. I give up on this new team. I'm not going to follow them anymore. All right, good. I'm going to be a Tennessee Titans fan now. Like I'm just going to go to another hopeless team. But yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. I mean, what got me onto the Falcons was the red and black when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So if the colors changed, the mascot, it'd be tough. All
If
right.
that does happen, though, do you get free reign to pick any other favorite team you want, or do you
That's
get
also
judged
true.
for
What would
that?
your friend? How would your friends react to it? Like, because I always tell like Brittany, I'm always like, I mean, say I gave up on the Falcons. I'm done with this. I'm too much heartbreak. I'm tired of it. Anytime I looked at y'all, I was like, hey guys, I'm a Broncos fan now. You guys would laugh at me all
Yeah,
the
we
time.
would give. Yeah, we would.
Now everybody's gonna take that. It will take me
Well,
20 years.
Kind of like why I've always, as a Lions fan, I've always had a player that I root for. I was a huge John Elway fan, so I would follow the Broncos. Heck, I even flew out
Yeah.
to Denver when I was like 18 to watch them play.
Yeah.
Tom Brady at Michigan. So now I follow him in his NFL career.
Right.
I wasn't a Patriots fan. Like this year, I don't care. I hope the Patriots lose.
Right.
So
If,
that's
if
just
I,
how it is with me.
If I had to pick that with me, it'd probably be Watson right now. So, but Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Because your dynasty team, your fantasy football life affects that too. Because you get, especially dynasty
Yes.
where you
Yes,
have
it
these players,
does.
you get attached. Like I've never liked the Cowboys ever, but having Dak, am I like, come on, how about them Cowboys? All right, my final question. Lisa from Point Pleasant wants to know: would you rather have a running back that guarantees you at least 2 yards a carry, or a field goal kicker that is 100% good from 40 yards and in?
It's a dumb question. It's a field goal kicker. That's easy. 2 yards of carry is
Not that
nothing in the
easy.
NFL.
It's not that
It's
easy.
nothing. So you could just run in, or you could be like not a run and shoot, but you could just be a passing team
What does that
and just
mean?
run, or just throw it. You could throw it up and down the field. You still get in field goal range.
You're guaranteed.
Just 'cause
You
you're
know how
not
many times you
guaranteed-
need? Any 4th and 1, you're golden. Any goal line play, you're golden. You're guaranteed to score. And you're
Yeah, I know.
guaranteed to always have 4th and 4, at least, if you just do nothing but run.
Yeah, no, I like the field goal. Guaranteed
Yeah, I
points.
mean, I think you got to go kicker, because if it comes down to it and a field goal is going to win it, if you get within 40 yards, you're not losing.
But how?
I mean,
I don't get how. I don't think how much of an advantage that is versus how many kick. What's the kicker's percentage inside 40? It's got to be close to. It's got to be above 90, right?
We don't agree
No.
with you, Brett. That's
You're only
okay.
getting that extra because your all's logic stinks. You're only
You
getting
think-
that extra 8% or so, 8 to 10%.
You
I
think-
guarantee it's above 90% inside of 40.
I don't know about that.
All the extra points. Although I did see a lot of misses this weekend.
Dumb question. Dumb question.
It's
Move on.
it's the running back, by the way. It is the
People,
running back.
I apologize for our host. I
is.
apologize for our host's.
I think it's the running back more than you might think. All right,
See?
I don't know.
that one will cause some debate.
Come on, host.
All right, so we're going to switch it up. We're going to bring on somebody else. We have a guest. It is now time to get to our KDFL section. All right, we now welcome on our first celebrity guest picker, Matt Smith, the GM of the Charleston Methadones. Matt, what's going on, buddy?
I should be a little more angrier than I am after this terrible last week that I had with Detroit's awful team beating me. Actually, Detroit has a really good team, but all these other bums in the league winning. And I'm clearly the third best team at a minimum.
There
That was a positive. That's a positive outlook on this.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know if you saw the highest. I don't know if you saw the highest scoring team this first week.
Oh, you're still terrible. Either way, we know it. So. Your trade has your team away in 3 weeks anyway.
That's a good point he makes.
a perfect entrance for Matt. So speaking of last week's games, let's go ahead and do the rundown. So here we go. We start in Dogtown, where the KDFL season kicks off with the Marmet Midnight Riders at the Dogtown Dobermans. The QBs play well for Dogtown. Josh Allen and Big Ben combined for 55. The top defensive player also comes from the Dobermans. Janoris Jenkins scores 27. It's all not enough. Darius Slayton pulls it out on Monday Night Football for the Midnight Riders, scoring 28. In what is our closest game of the week, the Marmet Midnight Riders win the 2020 KDFL season opener 207-205. To Polka we go next, where the Polka Pharmacists welcome the Cross Vegas Gamblers. The Viking duo of Phelan and Cook give the Gamblers 33. Cam Newton brought the rushing production for the Pharmacists with 2 rushing TDs as he scores 26. The Gamblers linebackers combine for 54, and the Gamblers win easy 249-193. Now on to Hurricane, where the Nightdale Dragons visit the Hurricane Wampus Cats. The number 1 overall KDFL pick, the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, has an impressive debut with 20 points for the Dragons. Newly acquired Devontae Adams has won a hell of a revenge game against his former team, scoring 42 for the Wampus Cats and leading all fantasy players in week 1. It's a team effort, though, for the Nightdale Dragons. Even though they have no player scoring over 25, they still have the top score of the week as the Nightdale Dragons win 272-208. On to Roxalana we go now, with the Kanawha County Kings drive right up the road to the Roxalana Renegades. McCaffrey picks up where he left off in 2019, scoring 28. Stafford and Hawkinson give the Renegades 34. However, no one on the Renegades is able to break 20 points. The Kings win 223-166, and with that loss, the Roxalana Renegades become our first elimination in the KDFL Eliminator. Now, the Charleston Methadones are up next, and they visit the Elkview River Rats. This game lived up to its billing with a combined score of 533. Josh Jacobs scores 3 TDs and leads all scorers with 36. The QB double threat in Elkview with Rogers and Jackson combined for 67. And welcome back, Juju. He scores 25 for the River Rats. The River Rats win 270-263. Finally, our game of the week, the banner ring ceremony. The Montrose Mega Powers go to Glasgow to take on the Commission's Gunslingers. Calvin Ridley has an impressive 2 TD performance, scoring 34. Zeke is unstoppable and scores 28 for the defending champs. Jerome Baker, some linebacker somewhere, scores 16 points, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 31 points. A successful beginning to the KDFL title defense campaign. The Gunslingers win 266-251, and that is your KDFL Week 1 recap. Whew, out of practice with those, gentlemen. It's been a while. Let's get some Week 1 reactions.
Well, I won, so that's always good. But I'm just glad he didn't come down with that Kamara touchdown, because that would have gave him another, 6.1 points.
Yeah.
It could have been. It could be. Actually, it could have hurt me on a stat correction later on.
That correction watch for sure.
Yeah. So
I got cute starting Boston Scott over Kareem Hunt. Game day decision. Terrible. I got a beef though. Why was me and Detroit not game of the week, Brett? You game of the week. That's outrageous.
Because I wanted to
That-
pick your all game of the week, and we talked about it. It has to be the defending champs. I didn't want to be in this game of the week. It was a 28-point dog.
Yeah,
I
you
wanna be in
did.
it. No,
Yeah,
I
you know you wanted to.
No, I didn't. 28-point dog, and I would be there for the commissions raising the banners and all this crap. No, I don't. But that's a tradition.
He
By
must
the
have
way-
paid y'all.
What can I do? Barkley has a terrible game. He has negative yards for the first 3 quarters of the game. Mixon does nothing. Mahomes has a so-so game. Jimmy G looks terrible, and he gets a linebacker from Miami scoring 31 points. Ridiculous. I couldn't have gave him a better shot than this, and it still wasn't enough.
I know there's a few good rookie linebackers out there that had a decent week. Whoever
who's
drafted
that?
those guys,
Goodness gracious.
except for Isaiah Simmons, he's a bum officially.
He's already on, he's
Hey,
already on
Already
the
a
bum
bum.
list.
He's already on the chopping block.
What about Ingram?
Ooh.
You gonna keep Ingram or you gonna drop him?
He's already dropped. I still got him. Noah Fant was another mistake. Bench not
Yeah, he
starting
looked
him.
good.
He does look good.
All right. Any other reactions for our week 1? It was fun to have fantasy football back again and
No.
enjoying that.
Let's go to week. We're on to
Here he
week 2.
goes.
Let's
Here he
go.
goes, Phil. You're watching this with the rush. All right.
Is there a blooming
go.
onion somewhere? I mean,
All right.
Jesus.
So, yeah. As our celebrity guest picker, sir, you will go first. And then we'll go to, where do we go to? Detroit and then Phil? That's the typical order? Okay.
Sure.
First up, the Dogtown Dobermans at the Polka Pharmacist. 2 0-1 teams. Mr. Smith, what do we see here?
All right, I've done a little bit of analysis. Dogtown Dobermans. First off, I don't know Dogtown very well, but is he a Steelers fan? Big Ben, Connor, Deontay Johnson, all starting. I don't love it against Denver. Denver actually looked pretty good, better than I was hoping they would look. But rest of it, really ugly-looking team. Josh Kelly, starting running back, 2 rookie wide receivers, starting with Ragar and Pittman. I think the only way he has a chance of Josh Allen needs to score about 50 points, and that's for every single week for him to have a chance. He could this week against Miami.
Yeah.
Like a pharmacist, Cam Newton looked pretty good. Detroit's hero, Tom Brady, he should bounce back versus the Panthers. The running backs are struggling a little bit, though, with Philip Lindsay hurt. Cam Akers didn't do anything first week. My boy Henry Ruggs looked really good until he injured his knee, and Waller should play well against the Saints. But with all that said, Polka Pharmacist, I think if they figure out the running back situation, they should win. Polka wins, goes 1-1. Dogtown starts 7-2.
All right. The celebrity guest picker bringing the analysis. Detroit.
Yeah.
What do we see here?
Well, for Dogtown, I've covered this before. He's definitely in full rebuild mode.
Oh,
And for the record, he's an
Eagles fan,
he's
by
an
the way.
Eagles
Yeah,
fan, not
sorry,
a Steelers
sorry.
fan.
Okay. All right.
But Connor's hurt for him now, but luckily he's got Snell on his bench, so he can start him. I do think Deontay Johnson, the receiver of the Steelers, is going to be good this year. Other than that, I do like his quarterbacks, Big Ben and Josh Allen. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to go against the Pharmacist. I'm not in love with the Pharmacist running back situation either, but I like Cam Newton. I think Evans will be better this week. Hopefully he's healthier so he can help my boy Brady.
Your hero.
But I like his team. I've always loved his linebackers on his team. He's probably got some of the best linebackers in our league with Littleton, Wagner, and Bush. So I'm definitely taking Polka Pharmacist this week.
all right. 2 for Polka. Phil, what do you see here?
All right. Well, I just first want to say I love having Matt on here because me going after Matt and Detroit, I don't really have to say much because they covered pretty much everything there's just to cover. So luckily I didn't do enough research anyway, so I wasn't going to say much. But
So it's like normal.
yeah. It's normal. But somebody else has gone before me too, and versus just you, so it makes me look a little better.
There you go.
The Dobermans, I like their matchups across the board, actually. They have some pretty decent matchups. And then Josh Allen should run and throw all over the Dolphins. But other than that, I don't think he's going to beat the Pharmacist, so I think the Pharmacists get the win here. And I think Brady's going to have a decent bounce-back week after that rough start last week.
Okay. Okay, so when I looked at this game, its advantages all around for Poca, similar to what you could both have hit on. I'll be interested to see if Cam Akers gets more run. Malcolm Brown looks so good that it's going to be, I think, tough for him to find a more prominent role in that offense. He is a rookie. We'll see how it progresses. The Dobermans going to need a big game from Odell against the Bengals to have a chance in this game. I think it's a consensus here. Poca Pharmacists even up their record and go to 1-1. Next up, the 1-0 Roxana Renegades, their first road game going to Roxana. Glasgow Gunslingers, Roxana Renegades. Sorry about that. Matt, take it away.
All right, this one I don't have very many notes on. My comments are, is this matchup even worth discussing? The commission's team is unstoppable. It's Roxana, the miracle for them to happen. Jonathan Taylor absolutely dominates. Marlon Mack's out now, so a little bit of a chance. Kerryon Johnson has to have a great game. Kenyon Drake has to do what he did last year, scoring 4+ touchdowns. And the Lions need to put up at least 60 points against the Packers. That is the only chance I see the Roxana Renegades beating the Glasgow Gunslingers. It's not going to happen. Glasgow easily goes 2-0. Renegades fall to 0-2.
Yeah, Matt's right. There's ain't much to say about this matchup. I mean, I don't even know why we're discussing it. We should just make the pick. We're going Glasgow Gunslingers. This game is going to be UGLY ugly. It's not even going to be close. Sorry, Eric.
Phil, are you going to go out on a limb and give the commission's first loss?
I just have 2 words written down. Gunslingers big. That's all I got.
Looking at this game, it is the biggest point spread of the week. We'll see if Mixon continues his habitual slow start. This is 2 years in a row now, like we've talked about earlier. The George Kittle's health, I don't know. It does have a huge effect on Jimmy G's production. All that being said, it's just too big of a mismatch. Gunslingers, again, second consensus. So, next up, the Montrose Mega Powers at 0-1 take on fellow podcaster Phil Rexy, the Nightdale Dragons. Mr. Celebrity Guest Picker, go ahead and make one of us angry.
All right. The Mega Powers, of course, they got a great QB combo with Dak and Dak. This is a little shot to you, Brett. Dak could have a perfect game against the tired Falcons defense, like Russell Wilson did last week. Todd Gurley, Dave Johnson both look good week 1. Not sure about your love for Gibson. I don't see him doing anything this year with Peyton Barber there. Really, Marvin Jones both have good matchups though. Nightdale Dragons. I don't like your QBs at all with Matt Ryan. Again, killing Brett.
Goodness.
And Phillip Rivers is just trash. He's one of the worst QBs in the league, according to me. But based on how Minnesota played last week, Ravens. Rivers could be in for a shootout, so he might be all right. Clyde Edwards looked great with the Chiefs. Now you got 3 solid running backs with Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones. So I hate to do it. Arch enemy, I'm going to give the Nightdale Dragons the win just based on the 3 running backs. And they somehow go 2-0, and Brett is a dismal 0-2.
Detroit.
Man, I hope that happens. Yeah, I like the Dragons' running back situation is top notch. Jones is going against the Lions, and Lions can't stop anybody. Brett, the only thing you really got going for you is your quarterbacks. Phil's quarterbacks are not very good fantasy quarterbacks. Matt Ryan's pretty much not really good when it comes to fantasy. But I do.
Yards.
Whoa! Whose turn is it? Is it
I
my
gotta
turn or
call
your
out
turn?
lies. I gotta call out lies when I hear it.
it's my
450
turn.
yards and 2 touchdowns.
We all know that you're the host, but it's our turn to talk. So.
Yeah.
But I do like that you do have Malcolm Brown in your lineup now. I think that's going to help you a lot. But with that said, I think Phil's going to get the win this week. I agree with Matt.
Phil, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Matt Ryan was the highest scoring player on my team with 25 points. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Someone's blinded by hate. Blinded by hate.
He's a better fantasy quarterback, I think, than he is a real quarterback somehow.
Well, too far.
No, it's not too far. That's right. Anyways, one thing that worries me actually is my matchups this week because 7 of my non-offensive players face a top 11 defense versus that respective position. So I think that could that really worries me this week. But I think Derrick Henry's going to run all over the Jaguars, and I do think Rivers is going to bounce back against the Vikings, who were lit up by Rodgers last week. So I'm going to go with myself, the Dragons, to get the win here.
All right. Look, we have reverse hedges in this game. Ryan and Ridley, Watson and Fuller, so that'll be interesting how that plays out. I do believe Marvin Jones needs Kenny Golladay in there to take some of the attention away. So that'll be interesting to see. It's not easy matchups in Montrose either with the Texans playing the Ravens. So I don't know if that's going to be very beneficial to me. Look, I'm picking the Knights to win. I've never picked myself to lose consecutive weeks. You better get me now. Look at my schedule. Look at the next 4 weeks. I'm going to be 4-2 even if I lose this game. 5-1 if I win. So you better get to me now. That's all I'm going to say. I'm moving on. Next game. The Marmette Midnight Riders at 1-0 take on the Charleston Methadones. Celebrity guest picker, tell us how this game is going to go.
All right, Marmette. Baker Mayfield looked awful. Bengals are easier matchup, though, so he could do all right this week. Teddy Bridgewater, he played the Raiders. The Raiders' defense is not great. I did not see anything special out of him last week. I don't think he was better in New Orleans. I don't know. I don't have high hopes for him this year. Dobbins and Slayton, both young guys, looked really good week 1, so they could pull it out for him. I think the Chargers are going to struggle with the Chiefs this week, though. Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen might struggle. But Tyreek Hill, who knows? That dude can always go 30-plus points anytime. So looking at my team, I could be down a good amount coming into Monday night. But fortunately, it's the Raiders and the Saints playing. And I have Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, and the future MVP, Derek Carr, starting out. So those guys should come back for me. Russell Wilson was perfect last week. Might struggle a little week this week against New England. Browns and Bengals Thursday night game. Never know with Jarvis Landry and Kareem Hunt. I don't like Thursday night games. Not sure how they're doing. I also have to figure out how to focus my correct lineup with tight ends and linebackers. That said, easily beat Marmette Midnight Riders. I think it'll be another high-scoring matchup, though. I come back Monday night, beat them, go to 500. Marmette goes to 500 too.
Nice. Detroit, what do you see here?
Yeah, I don't. Marmette got that win against Dogtown this week. I don't know, by his linebackers on Monday night there. I don't see that happening again this week. Baker Mayfield is Baker Mayfield. I don't like him. I don't really like any of his matchups except for Tyreek Hill. I guess Dobbins could get maybe a score. But Matt's team is just really strong. His running backs are really good. Hunt got more touches than Chubb this week.
Yeah,
I know Hunt's the receiving running back that they like to use, and they were behind. So, but Russell Wilson's a stud. I expect A.J. Brown to come back. Thankfully, he didn't do it last night. Derek Carr, nothing really to say there. But, yeah, I think the Methadones win this one pretty easy. So I'm taking them.
All right. Phil.
Yeah, as they were saying, Baker Mayfield is just trash. He's probably one of the worst QBs in the league. And I'm not a big fan of his running backs, Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, I think Dobbins had a good week in week 1. Same thing with Eckler. But, he had an okay week. But actually, I think the matchups this week, I think his defense I might actually favor his defense over Matt's defense. I know that's hard to say with all those linebackers that Matt has on his team. But I think overall, in the end, I think the combination of Russell Wilson, Josh Jacobs, and Alvin Kamara, like he was saying, is just going to be too much for the Midnight Riders. So I think the Methadones get the win here.
Yeah, Kamara gets the Raiders. McCaffrey looked good last week. Kamara looked good last week as well. So that could be very, very profitable for him. We're having a lot of that this week. And when we get to the game of the week, we'll hit on that as well. But your own player is going against your favorite team. QB matchups do go to the Methadones. Russ, of course, looks phenomenal. Carr may be in a favorable game script versus New Orleans. to me, the Midnight Riders, like Phil alluded to, the Midnight Riders are going to have some type of step up on defense in order to make this a game. I don't necessarily see it, so I don't think we've had a pick different yet. I'm going Methadones, so that is 4 games up, 4 consensus picks. This next one might give us a little bit of difference here. So, Hurricane Wampus Cats at 0-1 travel to Kanawha County to take on the Kanawha County Kings, sitting at 1-0. It's the Kings opener. As a fellow Dunbarian, Mr. Smith, what do you see in this game?
Okay, I was 4 p.m. games. The Raiders played at once. At 4 p.m. games, I mainly watched 2 of the 3 games on the TV setup. I watched Kyler Murray. I swear the dude plays like my 8-year-old Keegan plays Madden with Lamar Jackson. Nonstop crazy scrambling plays all day. Somehow ends up producing yards. DeAndre Hopkins is going to get another 20 catches or something ridiculous. He was entertaining to watch. So Kyler Murray is going to get a lot of points, I think, throughout the year for the Wampus Cats. His running backs are really struggling with Mark Ingram and now even injured Le'Veon Bell, who just got traded from Kanawha County Kings. So that's kind of messy. But his wide receiver core, it might be the best in the league. Devontae Adams, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to say Hopkins is just ridiculous with the Cardinals. Kanawha County Kings, Breeze, and Cooks have a big game against the Raiders defense. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game for that. Cousins should play better against the Colts, I would think, week 2. He's got solid running backs, Melvin Gordon, Christian McCaffrey. Gordon should even be better now with Philip Lindsay injured. I don't like the Kings wide receivers with 2 starting Colts and Paris Campbell and T.Y. Hilton, but the Vikings look bad, so they could be all right. But I do not want to be consensus on everything. I'm going with the upset and taking the Bustin' Dustins to win if he figures out his running back situations. The Wampus Cats start at 1-1, and the Kings fall to 1-1.
Woo! All right.
Nice.
Detroit, what do you have here?
Well, Matt covered a lot of what I was going to say. I don't like Tim when he starts 2 Colts wide receivers. I don't like when people do that. Drew Brees should have a decent game against the Raiders. You know how I feel about Cousins. He's not very good, in my opinion. But the Wampus Cats, I don't like Haskins Jr. as his second quarterback. But like Matt said, their receivers are just – on his team is just unstoppable. And Murray's going to get a bunch of points by running. So I'm actually going with the Wampus Cats too.
Phil, what do you see in this game?
Well, I hope we're not going with a surprise consensus, but I'm also going to go with the Wampus Cats. His receivers are amazing with Adams, Brown, and Hopkins. The only thing that might worry me, I know Kyler Murray's looking good, but Washington up front has looked really dominant so far, and I feel like they could shut him down if he tries to get outside. So I don't know if he's going to be able to make all those plays he was making last week. I still think he's going to put up enough points, though, for the Wampus Cats to get the win here.
I thought I was going to be like a lone wolf here. Looking at this matchup, are we buying in on Haskins outscoring Cousins? We'll see. I mean, Haskins has Arizona. Cousins is at Indy. That'll be interesting. Yeah, Philip Lindsay's out, but they have the Steelers D in Kanawha County. So if this wasn't a dynasty-style league, you wouldn't be starting Melvin Gordon this week, I wouldn't think. We just saw what they did to Barkley. There's so many favorable matchups with Adams getting Detroit and Murray and Hopkins getting Washington. I thought I was going to be on a limb, but we do have an accidental consensus here. The Hurricane Wampus Cats beat the Kings. I have this as my closest game of the week. It is actually an under 1 point spread if you look at ESPN right now. So, Tim, betrayed by 2 of his closest here.
Yeah. Hey, Bustin' Dustin, dog.
That's true. It's true. All right. Week 2 game of the week. We have Detroit's Elkview River Rats going on the road versus the Cross Vegas Gamblers. Celebrity guest picker Matthew Smith, give us your game of the week analysis.
This stupid River Rats team, I don't even want to look at them anymore. Lamar Jackson and Rodgers. Rodgers not going to die. I mean, good God. They 2 top QBs in the league after last week. Just ridiculous. Carson played great too. Nick Chubb, he seems to be 50-50 split like Detroit mentioned earlier with Kareem Hunt. It's Thursday Night Football, so I don't love him necessarily. But Kelsey, Juju, DK Metcalf, all solid players. Cross Vegas Gamblers. So I'm going to give Brett a little bit of credit here. I think you might actually be right that Carson Wentz is an absolute bum. How do you lose to the football team? I don't get that.
Football team.
The football team. The Rams look good. Daniel Jones clearly needs more work. Watching some of that game last night, go like a 20-play drive, and then he just looks like an absolute idiot. Michael Thomas is injured. He's not playing. That's announced earlier. And really, I'm not struggling to see how the Gamblers scored so many points last week, with the exception of the Vikings playing from behind with Thielen and Cook going off. I don't see them as that great of a team. I don't know why this is game of the week either. I think the River Rats are going to win by a landslide.
Ooh, thank you, man.
And the Gamblers moved to 1-1.
Detroit. What do you see here? Stop thanking people for picking you, Herb.
Jeez. Yeah, with Thomas being out, that definitely helps me a lot. I guess Carson Wentz just isn't the quarterback we thought he was, or at least what I thought he was. Of course, he was running around on his, running around for his life, but they can't protect him. I don't like the Gamblers running backs besides Cook. I'm not a fan of James White. Fournette, we don't know what the situation is there in Tampa. As for my team, I do love Lamar against Houston, obviously. Carson should be okay. I am worried about Chubb, though, because like Matt said, Cleveland seems to be they're going with the 50-50 route there. So I like Juju and Kelsey, and Aaron Rodgers is going to light up the Lions this week. So I expect another big game out of him. So I'm definitely picking my team.
All right, Phil.
Yeah, kind of the same stuff. I mean, if the Texans can figure anything out on offense, I think Lamar could be in for a shootout. So he could put up some points. Smith-Schuster is looking really good so far. I think he's going to be back with Big Ben healthy again. Like he was saying, Detroit was saying, Rodgers should put up some big points against the Lions. I don't really think they're going to be able to stop him after last week. And then, of course, Chris Carson's off to a hot start with 2 receiving touchdowns in week 1. I look for him to keep that up, and I think the Seahawks will have a pretty good game against the Patriots. So I'm going to go with the River Rats to get the win in the game of the week.
All right. So, what did I say? Okay. So
he thanks me every time.
He does. He always does it. Thank you. They like me. Okay. Rodgers gets the Lions. So that dynamic is going to be amazing. That's what I was talking about earlier. Matt's got Kamara at the Raiders. I have Dak at the Falcons, and Detroit has Rodgers at the Lions. It's pretty interesting how fantasy and real life collide here. Now, my misleading player of week 1, Chris Carson. It looked like great numbers. It was great numbers. It's misleading stats. That was a very positive game script for the Seahawks. How many carries do you think Chris Carson had? He had 6. 6 carries is all he had in a game script that should have favored him a lot. I would pay a little close attention to that and see how that develops as the year goes on. Carson Wentz needs a rebound game. I don't think it's going to happen. And I think for the first time ever, as far as I know, we've never all picked each game the exact same, but that is what just happened. I don't know what bad omen Matt has brought upon this podcast, but I'm going River Rats as well. So 6 games up, 6 games down, 6 consensuses. Yeah, very interesting, boys. So I'm going to thank Matt for coming on and picking the games, and I'm going to give it to you to sign off here a little bit and give us your NFL game line block of the week.
This is me?
This would be you.
All right. I hate the NFL spread. I feel like it's rigged in Vegas, but I hate to do it. I'm going to go with the number 1 QB that I hate in the league right now after his stupid dancing shenanigans last year against the Raiders. He thinks he's a rapper or something. I don't know what he is, but I hate him. The Denver Broncos are plus 7.5. I think they're the log of the week. I've looked it up. They are 7-3 against the spread the last 10 games. They looked good last night. I don't think the Steelers are as good as people think they are. I think the Giants are worse than that. Denver should keep it close. 7.5 is a big spread. Log of the week, Denver.
All right, going now to Detroit. Give us your stupid sign off and your lock of the week.
Well, last week, I did
Don't
something
talk about
I
last
never
week.
I did something I don't like to do. First of all, we all went 0-1. So
Yes.
just so everybody knows that. I took the Lions, which I never like to do. I never like taking my own team. So this week, I I'm taking the Packers over the Lions -6. I think that spread is too low. The Lions defense can't stop anything. They just lost one of their defensive backs for the year. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think the Packers are going to win. And don't worry, I'm not going to say it this week, so you don't have to worry.
I'm glad your connection messed up a little bit right there. It's fine.
I'm colorblind. I can't even see it. But
It
I know
says
what
Brett
he's
sucks.
saying.
What do you think it
did it?
I
says?
know. I know it. I can't read it though.
Bill, tell the people how to get a hold of us and give us your lock of the week.
All right. As always, they can follow us on Twitter. They can follow the show at KDFL Podcast. They can follow you at Brett Still 2. They can follow Detroit at Detroit8374, and they can follow me at Phil Ruxy. They could also leave us the voice message on Anchor, or they can call into the show at 901-609-KDFL. And for my lock of the week, in honor of Matt being on the show, I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders +6.5 at home against the Saints. I think this could be a tough road trip for the Saints, and I think the Raiders are at least going to keep it close.
There you go. Appreciate
There
that,
we go.
Phil.
I am on board the Raiders train this week for obvious reasons as well. So, I can't believe for the first time since we've been doing this, my pick made it all the way through to me. I don't know if that's good or bad. Very obvious to me. The Jets stink. This team is awful. They just lost their running back. I don't care how hurt the Niners are. That's still Kyle Shanahan calling the plays. Niners -7. The Niners might win this game by 25 plus. So I think Niners giving 7. I'll easily give the points. Niners win big. So for guest celebrity picker, Matt Smith, for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for Mr. Phil Ruxy, I'm Brett Steele, and we will see you next week here on the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast.